They're going to be crossing back and forth across here. We're going to see them all day and all night. And just going to be covered up with deer. 6 years before we ever killed a deer out of this thing. That's not good. I'm guessing the wind, a storm came through there and ripped it off, I guess. I don't know. Let's get in here and take a look at it. See if we can get it out of here. Golly. Man, that sucker is heavy. Wow. Look at that. I guess all of these were ripped out right here. All these bolts. That's pretty impressive. Let me get up there and see if I can tell how it ripped out. This is our first stand we ever had. We call it the Green Monster. It's so tall, 15-foot tower. It's kind of got an interesting story with respect to how successful it was. Wow. Oh, it's just got little wood screws in it. But there's a bunch of them. There they are right there. That's the little hinge. Probably need to get a new hinge. Real quick, this story of this set. When we first got started, Lisa and I had just a little bit of money. We had enough to buy one blind. So we bought the one blind. And I got all the maps out, all the, topos, the aerial photos, where's the food, where's the water, where's the bedding area, all that stuff. And so I went through all of that. And I decided this right here was the best spot to put the first blind. Guaranteed success. Big bedding area, always on this ridge up here, along this ridge. This direction is the big bottom. And the creek's on the other side, lots of feed down here. And you can see that ridge runs all the way down through here bedding. So they're going to be crossing back and forth across here. We're going to see them all day and all night. And just going to be covered up with deer. 6 years before we ever killed a deer out of this thing. What happened was the oil company, I never sat here. I just got the maps and all that stuff and looked at it. And that's what you're going to learn out of this thing, because the oil company put an oil well down here about 1,000 yards probably. And when they did that, we immediately started seeing deer here. Up until then, you saw very few deer. And so that oil company made them change their travel area, change their travel path from bed to feed. And instead of forcing them that way, luckily it pushed them this way where I already had a set. And so that's when we started seeing deer here. So my thing that I learned out of that, the thing that you guys ought to take away from that, is what I already said. You can get all the maps out, you can look at all that stuff and study all that stuff, and you see them doing it on TV all the time, and that's great. It might work. But the best thing to do is to sit in the tree during the season before and see if there's deer activity. See when there's deer activity. Is it during the rut? Is it during the pre-rut? Is it during the post-rut? See when and make sure they're there before you put a set up. Now, obviously, I'm talking about a set, a permanent set, a tower. So it's kind of a different deal. If you're putting up a bow set, that's not nearly as big a deal. You know, you can put it up. If you don't see anything, it's real easy to pull it down and move it somewhere else, but you wasted a season. It's much easier, especially if you kill or if you take your deer out early and you still want to go set out, maybe hunt for a doe or whatever. That's a good time to go around and look at some other areas that you may think might be a good spot. But you can scout it like that before you put a stand up, at least a stand up permanently. So just something I learned. It took me 6 years to figure it out. But I figured it out. Hey, I'm slow, but man, I take good notes once I find out what to do. I can't stand flats, but obviously we got them. That one over there, I've got it where it'll stay up. This one, I don't. So I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on here first. Like that. Uh-oh. Aha! That smash your fingers. Okay, yeah. It's time to brush hog and to start getting ready for some hunters where they can kind of see what's going on. Even though we were in a drought, when we started growing stuff, boy, it grew. And it's just tall enough where you can't kind of see what you need to see. This is some of that goop, tire goop that'll fix small holes. And it comes with a lever crank that you pump. You pump it up and down and squirt a little bit in at a time. But this is a big tire, so we kind of do it a different way. There she goes. I think I'm going to do a couple of them. See there? Completely empty. The way these things work is you got to get the goop in there, then you got to run them to kind of spread it around. So until we get it out running, I'll be surprised if it fixes anything. But we're ready. So we'll air it up one last time right before we take off to go mow and see if that doesn't help us get by. There we go. All right. Hey, good morning. I've got my taxi driver. She's driving me down here to the tractor. I started mowing yesterday to get ready for the season, and my battery light came on in my tractor, which, you know, it's been a long time since I changed that battery. And so I was like, well, the battery must be going bad all of a sudden. And then it crossed my mind that I wonder if that belt that drives the alternator busted. Well, as soon as I kind of got that thought in my head, it started getting hot. So I stopped mowing and just started trying to nurse it back to the house where I could work on it there at the shop, and I didn't make it. It's down here right in the middle of the road. So it is 57 this morning, and so I'm gonna see if I can't just ease it back before it gets warm on me to the shop where I can work on it. So that's what we're doing. Well, I made it back, barely. That sucker had just got into the red when I pulled up to the shop, but I was able to get it killed before it ran ran any fluids over. It's going to be much easier to work on here. So it is in position. Now let's go get the dogs fed, and then we'll get to Ardmore and get our part. I would go now, but I don't know what time they open, and that's a good thing, I guess. If you own a tractor and you don't know what time the parts store opens, that's probably the sign you got a good tractor. Used to run John Deere's. I knew exactly when the parts store opened. I had to make a quick detour. World's greatest mower is wanting to get some mowing done up around the hunter's cabin before we start. Let's see if she uses her backup camera. So I'll find out right here. Oh yeah, she may be using it. Come back slow, babe. Can you see me? Watch in the mirror or wherever. Got about 4 inches. A little bit more. Whoa. Okay, come on back. Little bit. Little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. Whoa. That's gonna work. There she goes. World's greatest, getting her ready to go. Getting ready to go to work. You got anything to say?
Let's get to work.
Well, that's what I get for bad mouthing. The John Deere's. I had a belt break. First one since '06. Okay, isn't that pretty? This is the one that broke. Nice and snug. This is the other one. I went ahead and changed them both because this tractor is an '06 and I bought it new.